But the Q&As,
Q&A, yes.
Got a question?
Well, we had some questions. We had, what is your favourite horror film?
My favourite horror film? Well, as you might have gathered, I'm really not a big horror buff or expert, but I loved Shaun of the Dead. I think that is the closest I've come to seeing a legit horror film.
We've had a few comments on the chat room about Shaun of the Dead, because I think that's, yeah. It's funny.
I'm a big fan of Simon Pegg. I've always enjoyed, all of his work. For me, actually, Shaun of the Dead was kind of like Spaced, the movie. And if you don't know what Spaced is, you have to check it out.
Yes, it was a bit, actually. Yes,
a sitcom based on, it's
People
a sitcom.
Not doing very much at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lifestyle that at that age, I think I'm about the same age as Simon Pegg. He might be a couple of years older than me. Actually, he's considerably older than me, isn't he? But regardless, that sort of lifestyle did appeal to me for a bit. But Shaun of the Dead, absolutely my favourite horror film. And indeed, Spaced is amazing, as Redders says on the chat.
Redders does say Spaced is amazing, yes, she does.
And what is DeWalt's channel again? Let me just check. That is Daywalt Fear Factory. YouTube.com/Daywalt Fear Factory. DAYWALT Fear Factory. All one word. We will tweet it. We'll tweet all of these channels up on our Twitter page. So please follow us. Twitter.com/ThoseVideoGuys. We're always checking it out throughout the week, day and night. So check us out. Another question that asks us about the Indie Intertube Awards, which I believe took place last week. I stayed up till 3 in the morning watching some of that. Did we win the award? No, we didn't.
And I wore my dinner jacket.
You wore your dinner jacket. I was watching it in my pyjamas. It was 3 in the morning, and no, we didn't win. But it's a lot of fun, and good luck to Indie Intertube.
Next year.
Still gonna watch your show, even though we didn't even win. Thank you very much for that. Any other cues?
Well, Worm Films is disputing that Shaun of the Dead is a horror film.
Oh, really? Well, it's undoubtedly a horror film.
It's got zombies in it.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't make it necessarily a horror film, no. Okay. But I think it is scary. I mean, it's played for played for comedy, but it's also played, I think, for scares as well.
Okay,
I think it does a good job, and I would say it is a horror film.
There's a question that's just scrolled off the screen. I couldn't see what it was from. Was it from Dan or Daniel? Can you just check that out? But it asked me what type of Dan Fig asked what type of horror film would I like to make, and I'll be honest with you, my favourite films are the kind of films with no or minimal special effects. In fact, one of my all-time to be fair, my all-time favourite film is Back to the Future, so that's that theory out the window. But some of the films that I've really enjoyed as an older person are films with no special effects whatsoever. Not horror films, but just any films like, About Schmidt, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. They're both Jack Nicholson films, but just films where it's just people sort of talking and you get to know the characters. So a kind of horror film I'd like to make would be one with maybe no special effects whatsoever and just a sense of dread or threat being subtly increased throughout the film somehow. Be it by ideas or dialogue or silence or just very sort of everyday occurrences. I think. Well,
one of our guests in the chat room is Vampire Mob, and it's a series that I would like to look at some point in the future.
Well, we'll check it out on a future show.
Vampire Mob. It's got the characters are vampires, but it's not really a horror film. It's not really a horror series. The characters just happen to be vampires, and it's almost like their day-to-day life.
I get what you're saying. Sort of like Red Dwarf. They happen to be in space, but it's
not really
about
a
some people.
Fiction. Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll check that out. What is that? Vampire Mob?
Vampire Mob, yeah.
We will have a look at that in a future episode.
Mob being that they're like mafia.
Yeah, okay. Wow, we are nearly out of time. Is there time for one more question or comment? No, there isn't. Okay, guys, well, that is pretty much...
Do we like Twilight?
Do we like Twilight? Do you know what?
No,
we don't.
We do not like Twilight, no.
Elazar, you don't like it for all kinds of principled reasons and how it doesn't fit in with your idea.
You know what? I gave it 10 minutes. Yeah. I wanted to slap Bella, Kirsten Stewart, just like, wake up, you silly girl. You've got all these people around you who seem to love you for some reason, yet you just throw it all in their face and want to act miserable all the time. Come on, get a life.
So, Elazar, you've got sort of deep and reasoned ideas for not liking it, and I don't like it because I'm not a 14-year-old teenage girl. But there we go. So, thumbs down for Twilight. Guys, that is all we have got time for. We thank you immensely for tuning in. Please tweet us during the week. We are at Those Video Guys on Twitter. We've got our YouTube channel. Check out thosevideoguys.tv for our website. That's all we've got time for. We'll be back next week with another regular show. But until then, we thank you very much for enjoying our horror special. Good night.